Hey guys, welcome to another episode of SuTube. It is October the 5th, and I just want to get this real quick video out to you guys. I know it's hard for me to make a video on a work day, working out of town and everything, but something very interesting is happening with the charts right now, and I kind of want to give you guys a heads up what I think is going on and a couple macro indicators I'm looking at and that sort of thing. If you guys think that sounds interesting, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you hadn't, and with that, let's get it. Alright guys, I'm going to start by looking at the Bitcoin chart here on the weekly Bitstamp chart. And this is that white triangle that I've been pointing out for quite some time now. That's the 3-year long pattern that I've been pointing out. And with my moving averages here, something I want to point out is, so not only are we so far holding support above the triangle, we have not broke back down below into it. We are still above that triangle, and on top of that, with these moving averages, my green line is the 21-week moving average, the orange is the 50-week, and the red is the 200. We did have this bullish cross of the 21 over the 50, and as well we are above the 200, so that also gives some validity. And then on top of that, ever since, we have been wicking down to this 21-week moving average and holding it as support after we got this bullish cross here. So in my opinion, guys, things are looking healthy from a macro point of view here. Next, guys, I'm just going to zoom in a little further, going to take a look at my daily Bitcoin chart. You don't really have to pay attention to this green triangle yet, but one thing I do want to point out on the daily time frame is to watch out for this purple downward sloping trend line. I do think that there is potential for that showing a bit of resistance if we are to continue coiling up in this potential wedge. I'm not saying we have to be in that, but it is on my radar. I have it mapped out, that sort of stuff. One thing I want to bring to your attention though is again this 21-day moving average. Is we did get another close back above it today, so we'll have to see if we can hold above it today, keeping it as support. That may also help our cause from a bullish perspective. As well, this yellow downward sloping trend line here, it did only have the 2 touch points. Well, I guess technically we had a third touch point there before we broke above and have been holding it as support. Even though we did wick below it, we haven't had daily closes below that, so that is good in my perspective. Zooming in a little closer, yet we're going to check out the 4-hour, and that's where this triangle, I believe, comes into play. And you've probably seen it on other YouTubers' channels as well, but that's just something that I think everybody should have on their radar. And once again, look at these moving averages, guys. We have the 21 moving average on the 4-hour chart here that just crossed over the 200 and is really kind of hammering towards the 50 moving average. It looks like it's really wanting to hammer up at it with momentum, and that is above the 200. So to me, that looks like a very bullish cross if it does happen to cross. And I think that might get us the little bit of extra oomph we need to get out of this green triangle. Again, we got to be aware of that purple trend line. I do think that could give us some potential resistance, but if we were to get a measured move of this triangle, we could be looking at a fairly decent move, guys. Let's say last time we touched that even, we'd still be looking at around a $12,000 price target with that triangle, and 12,000 would be a nice round number. I know there is some resistance back in this general area. If we zoom out, this whole cluster here is kind of that 12K range, so that is something to keep on the radar. That is a very nice measured move to line up with that. The next thing I want to touch on, guys, is the DXY, the US dollar index, and I just want to point out that I have been mentioning the last few videos to watch this downward sloping purple trend line, and as everyone was saying that the US dollar looks so bullish and it's breaking out because it did technically break out above kind of this horizontal resistance here, but we still had this downward sloping trend line that I was watching, and the fact that it didn't have a third touch point yet, I was really expecting that third touch point followed by a rejection. Whether this has to keep dumping it or not, it's hard to say. If we drop this green line of support, I think Bitcoin is going to go a little nuts, because I think the US dollar might be plummeting a little bit. But for now, it's hard to say. If we do end up just, now that we've got our third touch point, if we got a break above and then the US dollar takes its bounce, gets a nice support flip, it could really take off. And I think, in my opinion, that would be bad for Bitcoin. Now, one last thing I want to look at is what's going on in the charts on a smaller time scale here. I'm still in my long position that I had mentioned to you guys in my last video. I entered way back here, and you guys know that in my video I had already taken some profits, and I said I was going to update some stop losses to break even. Well, we've just really been going up since that, and we've just been following this little bit of a channel. You can see here that I took some more profits when we got near the top of the channel again. And then just a couple hours ago, I took a little more profits. I wanted to lock some in just below 10.8 thousand, because I thought that could be a level of interest. As well, we did have this wick right here, so I was thinking it would make sense to test that one more time. Just taking a little bit more profits off the table. I have changed my entry quite a bit. This is no longer my average entry, because I had added to my position on some of these. You can just see there's some random trend lines that I would have been finding, because I knew we were in this channel. So when we were breaking out from the bottom, I added to my position a couple times. So I would actually have to go and check what my average entry is right now, but it has changed regardless, and my stop losses have also been updated, and I have locked in profits at a few spots, and I have some more take profits if we happen to drop out of this channel. That'll get stopped out of my position if we drop by much, and I'll have to look for another entry, because once again, this purple trend line, if we do end up taking a bit of a dive, we might end up going down quite a bit closer to the 10.5K. Just kind of testing back down closer to the bottom of this range, I think would be totally normal. But we're going to have to see what happens there. Okay guys, now to the interesting part of the video. Sorry for long last here. I had mentioned in the intro that there was something interesting going on the charts, and that's something besides this channel. But this orange line I have here, this may be irrelevant by the time this video gets posted. You can see we're kind of getting close to it right now. But the importance of this orange line to me, guys, is I have been pointing out trades I've been taking based on the 618 as well. My September 24th video was talking about a potentially very bullish situation with this kind of a setup, but on a much larger time scale. And that's looking for the 0.618 rejection point that I've pointed out several times. Let me just go here to the hourly chart. If I take a Fibonacci line from our local high here before we dumped down to the bottom of our swing here, my 0.618 is this orange line, and that's kind of why I left it mapped out. I want to take this fib lines out just to clean things up here, but that's a very important line in my opinion. And you can see here we got rejected here, we got rejected here, and we're kind of starting to fight right now, but we are getting some closes above it. If I go back to the 15-minute chart here, you can even see, guys, that we've started respecting it as a little bit of a support flip on these couple candles here. If we can hold this as support without dropping this green channel, I think that Bitcoin might see a further push to the upside. That's where I was looking at the top of that triangle, and I'm going to be taking more profits just under 10.9K if we get a break up that high. I still have plenty of the position open, but that would be another take profit point. So It's just something I'm watching, guys. I really want to see how this 618 potential rejection point plays out. If we do start closing candles below this line again relatively soon, I think that we might be due for a little bit of a correction for the short term. But like I said, if we hold this line as support, I think there could absolutely be a bigger move coming tonight. So anyways, guys, that's just a few things that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. And I really had to kind of rush to make this video because once again, I'm not really home for a very long time in my day when I'm working out of town and working these long hours. So I'll make videos when I can, but bear with me. And yeah, with that, guys, if you could once again leave a like, subscribe if you hadn't, and with that, stay safe, my friends. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace out.